When the casting decision was announced, Bruce Lee felt something break inside him that he would never fully talk about in public. He had pitched the idea himself. He had built the concept, shaped the philosophy behind it, and believed, for a moment, that Hollywood was finally ready for him to lead. Instead, the role went to someone else. A white actor would wear the part Bruce Lee had imagined for himself. The reason given, quietly, behind closed studio doors, was one he had heard his entire career. Audiences weren't ready to watch an Asian man carry an American show. Los Angeles, early 1970s, Bruce Lee had already proven himself once as Kato in The Green Hornet, a supporting role that became something unexpected. The show struggled in American ratings and was canceled after one season. But in Hong Kong, audiences didn't care about the masked hero Kato served. They cared about Kato. The show was rebroadcast there under a different name, one that put Bruce Lee's character front and center, because viewers there saw exactly what American studios refused to see: a movie star hiding inside a sidekick role. Fame in Hong Kong didn't translate to opportunity in Los Angeles. He carried a presence that drew eyes the moment he stepped on screen. Yet in the system that decided who got to be a leading man in America, his face was treated as a limitation rather than an asset. He didn't accept that quietly. He went to work creating something of his own. Around 1971, Bruce Lee developed a television concept built on a radical premise: a wandering Shaolin monk in the American Old West. Using martial philosophy to navigate violence without losing himself to it, he brought the idea to Warner Brothers, discussing plot and character with total conviction, almost as if the story were autobiographical. The show eventually reached television under the title Kung Fu. But the lead role was given to David Carradine, an American actor with no martial arts background, who spent the production learning movements Bruce Lee had spent a lifetime mastering. For decades, the decision remained disputed. Studio executives pointed to commercial concerns, the belief that a marquee built around a Chinese leading man carried too much risk for network television in that era. What happened next is where most retellings skip too quickly to the triumph. The months that followed weren't triumphant. They were uncertain and quiet. He kept teaching martial arts in Los Angeles, kept taking small acting and choreography jobs that paid the bills, but used none of what he wanted to build. So he turned to the one place that had already shown him what was possible: Hong Kong. In 1971, Bruce Lee signed with Golden Harvest, a studio willing to do something Hollywood wasn't, put him at the absolute center of the story. The first film, The Big Boss, was made on a fraction of any Hollywood budget, with no studio safety net. What it had instead was total creative control over how Bruce Lee's body, philosophy, and presence would finally be shown as the undisputed lead. The film became a sensation. Then came Fist of Fury, and the numbers grew larger again. Hong Kong cinema had never seen box office returns like this. Audiences weren't just watching action sequences. They were watching something that felt different. Real martial arts discipline, real speed, a performer who moved like he meant every strike. Built methodically over years, most of his audience never saw. By the time Way of the Dragon was released, Bruce Lee was the most successful actor in the history of Hong Kong cinema, a fact that should have made the earlier rejection in America feel like ancient history. It wasn't. It had happened only a few years before. The same industry that decided he wasn't right to lead an American show was now watching a man it had once dismissed reshape an entire genre on his own terms. In front of an audience that grew every month, Hollywood noticed. It had to. The kind of success Bruce Lee was generating overseas wasn't something a major studio could keep ignoring. Warner Brothers, the very studio behind Kung Fu, approached him again. This time, the conversation was different. This time, the project would be built specifically around him, financed jointly between American and Hong Kong money, designed to introduce Bruce Lee as the lead, not the sidekick, not the cultural curiosity in someone else's story. That project became Enter the Dragon. Filming took place in Hong Kong in early 1973, blending martial arts spectacle with a structure built for Western audiences, while keeping Bruce Lee's philosophy and physical artistry at the center of every scene. He pushed for authenticity wherever he could, insisting on choreography that reflected real skill rather than exaggerated stunt work. Bruce Lee never lived to see how the film would be received. He died in Hong Kong on July 20th, 1973, weeks before Enter the Dragon premiered. When it was finally released, it became a global phenomenon, securing his place as the first Asian actor to become an undeniable international leading man in American cinema. The film that finally proved Hollywood wrong arrived only after the man at its center was gone. That is the part of this story that deserves more attention than it usually gets. Bruce Lee didn't wait for permission to be believed in. When one door closed, built on assumptions about what audiences would accept, he didn't argue with the people who closed it. He built an entirely different path, in a different industry, under different rules, and made it successful enough that the door reopened on its own, because the numbers had become impossible to dismiss. He never got to fully step through that reopened door, but everyone who came after him did. Every Asian actor who has led a major American production since has walked through a space that didn't exist before Bruce Lee forced it open from the outside, using talent and a refusal to accept that his face disqualified him from telling his own story. The decision that gave his idea to someone else wasn't the end of his story. It was the proof he needed that he would have to write the next chapter himself, on his own terms, and let the results speak in a language no studio executive could argue with.